School counselor pursuing a doctorate degree in psychology.
We have this thing called the Black girl curse. A lot of our white friends are married by 25, like happily married. Kids by 27, and we're like, what is the deal with the BGs?
And with the black girls, okay? See, you have all of them in their 30s saying the exact same thing that that's been a problem, okay? You want your careers, you don't want to, you want your fun, and then you want a man to be there at the finish line to pick you up, okay?
You know,
that part is really interesting, right? So I can respond to that as well. That is something I did notice. Most of my white female colleagues got married pretty early.
I think your rookie of the year for it's gonna be what's the chick's name out of with the Washington Mystics from Notre Dame? I think she's gonna be rookie of the year. There are so many black women on Hinge with master degrees that are on that professional escort timing, thinking black men are going to pay to play. Yeah.
Like, granted, I went to school in the South, so just take that take that as an example. They're also in the South, so keep that in mind. But I can't count how many weddings I went to before I was 26. Can't count. But again, they married the guy that they were in a relationship with when we were in college. So they had already been together for like 4, 5, 6+ years. So that's just something to keep in mind. Now, think about what she just said and think about the numbers that I just gave you. Once again, if she said they were already married by the time they were 25 and you're going back to college, there is already a deficit. We've covered on this show before that more Black women are going to undergrad and pursuing master's degrees and getting higher education. That hasn't changed from when I saw this video. That has continued to increase. And women are saying that they're not seeing that same ratio when it comes to.
Does that have to be a qualification for you to get married to somebody? Okay. You know, you're going to the manufacturer. They act like they're complaining to the to auto manufacturer, okay, to fix the black men, okay, fix the ratio because we're not getting what we want.
Their potential partner at college. So how do you solve this? Because I don't like to leave people with this is the problem.
And then the vast majority of black men that are the vast majority of black men that come out of college should be married, okay? And I don't see it. Now, if you look at the white rates and the Asian rates and the Latino rates, everybody besides us, okay, you see the 80% marriage rate for women that have degrees, okay, or women that are in the upper class, okay, in the upper middle class. Well, for black women, it doesn't translate.
And what do you do about it? One of the things is you try to meet people in different places, right? At school, I feel like we're lucky because like when you're in high school, you're put in a building with people, said classmates, you guys have gym, you guys have all this kind of stuff. So you're put in a space together. When you go to college on campus, you are put in a space together. After you leave college, things are a little bit different. You may move to a new city. You may live in a different type of community. You may, I don't know, maybe you're spending a lot of time at work. So you may not be able to have as much time to have extracurricular.
That's bullshit, okay? In the South, you work way more, you work way harder and way more time than you do in the city, okay? With a 9 to 5. That's bunk. Yeah, she used Shay as a prop. This content proves it. Yeah. I said, what other the other chicks prioritize marriage? They are married. BG, stop the presses. We're breaking new ground here, are we? They did prioritize marriage, okay? And we talked. They talked about this. MDK Williams talked about this, right? About she actually said they should have prioritized marriage when they're in college. She said that, okay? And she said her mother and the other black girl's mother said the exact same thing. Get your degree, get your career. Don't worry about no man until you get set, right? That's how come you have 4 black women sitting around with degrees and good jobs and no man, or okay jobs and no man.
Activities like you used to when you were an undergrad. These things happen, right? So where can you meet people? A lot of people cringe at this, but nowadays, the big one is online. The big one is the social like dating apps. And I know some people that have had success on those apps. And I also know some people that have some crazy, wild stories by dating people on those apps. But that's one place where you can meet people. The other,
You can make, if you want to take your black behind outside, you can meet a whole bunch of people. Okay. We don't, the gym is too creepy. So they say you can meet people in the store. Okay. You can meet people, at a lounge. They have enough money. You could set up, like back in the day, you used to have a lounge for upper class, black people to meet. Okay. They did other things. There's trade associations. There's a whole host of ways to meet. I would not be on Hinge. If I'm a professional, I'd be on LinkedIn should have a dating site, okay? For these black women. They should have a dating site. If I was LinkedIn, I have a dating site. If you have to take a black woman out to fancy restaurants early on and flex your career to get her attention, then you're asking to get taken advantage of as a simp. Yeah, I agree. The thing is, black men are not complaining. Black men can get married.
other one is church. You know, if you go to church, if that's your thing, you can meet people at church. You can also meet people at other social like activities, etc. Sporting events, sports is a big one. You can meet people at like basketball games, football games, that type of thing. But it's tricky because at the same time, you don't want to make it seem like you out there looking for somebody if you're going to a basketball game.
Why not?
And oftentimes I think,
why not? Why not? This is respectability politics. Like I don't want to make it look like I'm chasing him.
these things happen when you least expect it to. I didn't even expect to get married. It just happened. Like literally, like when I moved to Massachusetts, I didn't move here and say I was looking for somebody. It happened when I least expected it to. And I think sometimes that can be like the best case scenario when you're not looking and it just happens, right? And I want to hear from the men on this one too. Some of the things that I have heard from men is that they feel like there's nothing that they can offer you if you already have everything.
Here we go.
So let's go back to the college thing again.
Here we go.
If the numbers could
all the tropes, she's pulling out all of the tropes, okay? All the black girl talking points today, okay? All of them. Said both my sisters got married after college to working class men and then got advanced degrees. 20 years later, they're still married. Our grandmother let them know early on, you need to be married as a black woman in the South. Yep, I agree. To working class men. In fact, my daughter's dating, my daughter's a graduate. She's dating a blue collar guy, okay? And guess what? Even though there's a class differential, she's actually happy. She's asking me about him, okay? Should she? I said, number one, I can't determine whether you should marry anybody or not. I said, that's on you, okay? I said, but he's a Southern gentleman. Okay, he's a working class dude, and you picked him, and he loves you, and he pays what he weighs. He loves you. He makes a good living, and he protects you. He protects my grandson. I don't have no problem with him. I said, you have to determine whether you can live with him or not. She's trying to find an excuse because of her girlfriends. Okay. Well, all my girlfriends, blah blah blah. See, said, you're not marrying your girlfriends. You just have to. If you want this guy, you have to put up with it. Okay. Even the black woman who makes $200K salaries or broke from buying designer bags and traveling, they're looking for rich black simps and not husbands. The master's degree and the corporate job is a red flag. Very true. Very true. It's starting to bleed over into the white realm too. The same shit.
Continue the way that they are, where there's more black women in college than black men. It could be possible that there could be some type of an intimidation factor. if a guy meets you and he sees that you have a bachelor's degree, you have a master's degree, you have a condo, you have everything that you need, he may be tempted to ask, what can I do for you?
Why should he ask, what can he do for you? Okay. He should be, a pimp would say, what can you do for me? Why do you want to be with me? And he should ask that. Why do you want to be with me? Because I don't want you nagging me about trying to change me once we get together. Because guys that are happy with who they are and what they're doing, man, they don't want no chick to come home to a chick that's gonna nag them about where they're supposed to be. Okay. Now, it's one thing about dating 92s. Okay, you got to remember they're gonna try to push you. Okay, if you're below them, okay, if you're below them, they're gonna try to pull you. Most women will try to pull you up if you're below them. Okay. And so if you're with a 92 and you're a working class guy, she's going to try to pull you up. The thing is, can you withstand her nagging you about where you're not at? Okay. Can she let you be content? That's something you have to work out. They made a stink of most avenues. Yep. Just looked up her white husband. They want to be white girls so bad. They marry early but get divorced 60% of the time. It's initiated 80% by the time when Europe has the highest divorce rate in the world. That's true.
How can I help you if you already have everything? That's some of the things that I've heard from people. That doesn't mean don't go to school. That doesn't mean don't have a career, but it's just something to think about. Listen to what else they say.
And it's the black girl.
Jakeen Ashford is a chemist for a pharmaceutical company. Now that she's 34, she's lowered the bar when it comes to height requirements.
Listen to this. Listen, and she's a chemist, okay? She's a freaking chemist. Okay, she ain't no baddie. She ain't out there high fashion model. Listen what she wants.
I don't have a certain criteria, like if you're not 6'5", and I used to, but then as I got older, I said, okay, well maybe if you're 6'3", 6'2", 6'1", okay, maybe we could see eye to eye. I kind of have certain standards that I
see how long this stuff has been around. Okay, she's pretty. See how long this stuff has been around. That's why she's not married.
I hold myself to, and I don't feel like I should have to settle.
I have to settle. Okay. Have to settle. Hear that word? Okay. Have to settle. Okay.
Okay. And then there's things like this. Now, again, this still was 15 years ago. I don't know. All of these women could be married today, as far as I know. I really don't know. But at the time, they were not. And they said they were looking for someone and they wanted to get married. This type of requirement where someone has to be 6'5". First of all, most men are not. I don't even think most men are 6'2". So that's a high requirement.
Only 17% of the American male population is over 6 feet tall.
Now I'm assuming this woman here, maybe she's tall. She's sitting down, so I don't know. Maybe she's tall, but I think that's a bit much. I think that's a bit much. 6'5", 6'6", or whatever. I mean, come on. Those are like basketball player like heights. So most men are not that height. Someone said 5'9" is the average. So there you go. Yeah. So that is going to make it. That's going to make it harder for you.
for the sake of having somebody, I'm willing to wait.
Like many black men, she's also
I don't want to settle. I'm willing to wait. Okay. I'm going to wait till I'm 50. Okay. As a great collar brother, I have yet to meet a black woman with a bachelor's or master's degree that even comes close to what I make. They are the main character in a movie that the public is sick of watching. That is very true. Okay. That is very true. Said I dated a black lawyer who was 34, but she had $100K student loan debt, but walks around like she's above black men. Yeah, and I think that's the problem. Okay, the problem is not what they earn. Maybe if he's 6'2", okay, she proved my LeBron James super chat right. As a person, I have to admit my shortcomings to move forward. Black women seem to have the inability to do this. The thing is, okay, say none of the black men had degrees, okay? None of them had degrees. It was 100% black when they went to college, and 100% black men that didn't, okay? Now what? Now what? This is what you have. What are you gonna do? Stay unmarried? Let's stay unmarried. Black men really don't care. Settling is nothing but a cop out in this is indirectly admitting that she sucks at hypergamy. That is very true.